Hey guys, how we doing? I'm back to working on that bus with the leaking cylinder heads, and I got a chance to take those heads up and clean them up a little bit and kind of show you what we got. This one had a stock head still on it and then a replacement one. This one being the replacement head, there's no casting marks saying VW on it anywhere. It says I believe ACM, AMC upside down right there, but that's like a Mexico head, and this one is the original one, and you can kind of see by looking at it how badly pitted that one is all the way around. The pitting's not so much of an issue as that they actually have a procedure for you to sandblast it, and you just kind of fill it with JB weld, and there's no real heat there. It's just like 200 degrees, whatever the antifreeze temperature is. That's just the sealing surface for this rubber gasket, and you figure there's 10 psi behind it, so it needs some kind of a fairly decent clean surface for it to adhere to, but it's not like it's a machine surface. So going back to it and cleaning them up a little bit better, I did find an issue with this one cylinder head that we can't use it. And if you kind of look right in between, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a crack. There's a crack right between the valves right there. And I kind of cleaned it with a wire wheel so it doesn't show as much, but again, right there is a crack between the seats. Water jackets are in the head. They do go up through the ports down here, and possibly down here. These might be oil jacket returns. No, they wouldn't be. They're coolant also. Anyway, my issue is I'm getting coolant compression into the cooling system, so possibility that those cracks may go further back and actually reach a cooling jacket, and might be causing some of the problems. So I did not want to go ahead and use that one. So they're $4.50 a piece, something like that, new ones. But a friend of mine had a, I guess you call it a junk motor laying around, or a motor that was laying around, and it went over yesterday, about an hour ride away, and pulled the heads off of that, and that's kind of what they look like when I started. Here's another one, but here it is after it's all cleaned up. They're actually not in that bad a shape. The pitting isn't nowhere near as what the other one is. So I was going to do the JB weld on it, but I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to seal it up really well with the they recommend using somewhere around here the right stuff. It's a black sealant, and there's a procedure for coating all those black seals inside, outside, both sides, and seal it up pretty good. Looks like Cheese Whiz, doesn't it? Bet you it doesn't taste like Cheese Whiz. Maybe it does. So that's what's going to be the repair for that. We're going to go with using this used cylinder head. I also stole some lifters out of that motor. There's a couple on the other side that take a while to pump up when the van's been sitting a little while, and so I grabbed a couple of those, and I'm basically just going to put them on a bench and just kind of do a push test on them, and the ones that seem to hold up quite well we'll use over, and the ones that don't, they're hydraulic. And they're kind of notorious for not having that great of a oiling system to pump these up. Basically, oil travels through that hole in there and exits through that hole there, and I believe it pushes it through the push rod. Yeah, you got a hole in the push rod, which lubricates the top of the rocker. But there's like it's basically a hydraulic piston that's in there. They're supposed to pump up with oil over time. You can see that I can push that one in with my nail. So we could cure that. Gaskets came with some of that black stuff, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough. The way that I was watching the guys, some guy's video installing them, he used quite a bit of the right stuff, and I believed him. Plus, all the stuff's written in German. I don't even know what it is. What's that? I don't know. And I opened up the gasket set, and it does have all the exhaust manifold gaskets, the intake manifold gaskets, and etc., etc. So we are going to put this thing back together, hopefully today, or at least get the heads back on it today, and that part of it buttoned up. Got some other things going on. What else we got going on? got tires for the trailer. I was going to order them on eBay, but I tried one of my local places, and I have my own tire machine, so cash and carry. These were like 71 bucks a piece, and I went one size larger. I went to the 215s over 205s. Give me a little bit more trailer height. This isn't accurate, but we'll give her hell. It's another project. Guy with a driveway paving company. Hey, let's see what this does for us. So you figure I'm gonna gain half that height, you know? That'll do me pretty good. That'll gain me, I'm gonna say it should be about 3/4 of an inch. I don't know how well that shows, the height difference between the two. But again, I said you gain half of that. Plus that tire's gonna drop down a little bit when it puffs up. So, getting ready to put 6,000 miles on the camper. I want to go with dry rotted tires. And this guy stopped over wanting to know if I need a driveway. I usually get them about about 3 times a year. I get somebody coming in saying, looks like you need a driveway, can I give you an estimate? So it went from him getting money from me to him paying me. Had this in the back of his truck that looks like he spun the bearing on, and now the collar doesn't hold in place anymore. And what's happening is it's got so much play in it that there's a big sprocket that goes here, but the chain keeps popping off. So he bought a new sprocket, but the holes don't line up. So we've got to re-drill a new set of holes for that. And on this, I'm just going to build it up with weld and then grind it down and make it so that this pillar block doesn't have any play in it anymore. It stays put. He's also got a big dent down the center of it. Can't see it. Wants to see if I can get that out, but that might be a nightmare, because this is fairly thick material. It's got to be, it's over 1/8. Got to be 3/16, maybe even 1/4. You know. So I didn't make any promises on that as far as time getting it around. I'll get the sprocket and the pillar shaft repaired, but I don't know about the big dent. And we went to talking, and again he wanted to pave the driveway, and I said I don't have the money to do that, but I'll trade you a truck. And he seemed very interested in that, so we'll see how that works out. The Ford may be going for a new driveway. And I've gotten estimates before, and it's about $8 grand for a driveway. So you figure his cost is probably $4 grand, $5 grand for materials, and that's what we'll get the truck for. So it can kind of work out for both of us. Well, that's what's going on in my little world. Oh, I know, I can show you. Guys, you remember I was going to use that electric jack, tongue jack, for the bed on the mule. I ended up putting just a homemade switch on it and a rubber boot on top, and ran power directly to it. And I now put it on the trailer, because cranking these things up and down by hand with the stupid hand lever is a pain in the ass and the arm. So I'm in that for $8. I got that thing all straightened out. And what's also good about it, the trailer's got 4 jacks around the corners that you get to a campground, you level it. But again, trying to use those to move the body is a real pain. It gets real hard. So what you can do is you can figure out like where you want the 2 in the back. You leave the nose of the camper way down, move the 2 jacks in the back where you want them, and then jack it back up, and then set the 2 in the front, and then set it down. It makes life a lot easier. So it went to good use. All right. Oh, here's that sign where I told you I went to my old stomping grounds. That was one of the signs. That's when they redid the barn. They put a sign on it called Hollywood Barn. But then that's the sign that was hanging in front of her house, and I want to try to get that mailed off to one of the kids that I have the address for. Hopefully I'm doing the right thing. I haven't been in touch with them in a long time. You never know what a family situation is, but as I said, the mother passed away about a year ago, so it might be a good sediment for them. So guys, I am going to go back to doing some wrenching on this thing, see if I get the cylinder heads back on, and I'm probably just going to run regular water in it, make sure we don't have any issues, and then I have to purge the whole cooling system, which is pretty ridiculous on this thing because you got to figure the motor's in the back, radiators in the front, there's like that size diameter cooling hoses, what's that, 2 inches, inch and a half, that run front to back, and then you have a heater core in the back section and a heater core in the front section. All that has to get drained out of it because it's not supposed to use the green antifreeze. That's what causes all the issues, and what it had in it was green antifreeze, so we need to rectify that. It is going to Florida, so I'm not too concerned about how well it's protected. It's going to be in a warmer climate, but I want it more for the rust inhibitive part of the deal. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm done yapping, and take care.